What is up, you guys? TITOBODS here. We're going to do something different this time around. I'm going to introduce you to the Pikemen. The fantastic pikes of the freaking Guardians of the Warriors Pikemen. Anyway, introducing Cyrus as the thing. We have Mansa Storm, the Musa Torch. We have Boo Storm, the sister of Mansa, the Invisible Woman. Because, you know, she's now invisible on most lineups. Get it? And their leader, Fred Richards, Mr. Fantastic again. Because, you know, he wasn't fantastic in Season 2 and Season 3. And now he is again. Anyway, but seriously, these fantastic pikemen, as I call them, they are heroes that are really popular in Fantastic Season 4. Like, stop it. I'm going to stop now. Okay, seriously now, before we dive deeper into the builds, here is a short video with our partner. What is up, fam? TITOBODS here.
Hi, Tito.
Are you a new spender in Age of Empires Mobile? Or planning to make your very first purchase? Well then, you are in the right place at the right time. Eneba has teamed up with our channel to bring you some amazing deals. Now, if you're asking what is Eneba, well, don't worry, Anne's got you covered. And
Pleasure, TITOBODS. Eneba is your go-to digital store for games, gift cards, game points, and top-ups. And with TITOBOD's special link, you can get up to 20% cashback on Age of Empires Mobile products, only on the marketplace.
you heard that right. Up to 20% cashback just by using my special link. And I will put the link in the description. That includes every purchase of Empire coin deals and Apex coin deals. Whoa, right?
Oh my god! Wow!
So what are you waiting for? Start your Eneba journey right here with me, your geeky Tito. And have a lot of savings from here on out. And with that, TITOBODS out.
Eneba, the fastest-growing marketplace for gamers. Ahoo!
Okay, so let's start with our meta lineup here, which is Cyrus, Freddy, and Mansa Musa. Okay, so let's go with Cyrus the Great. So most of you guys know that this is actually my suggested build even on my previous videos. So we have here the Child of Prophecy. Because the Child of Prophecy here gives off counterattack and then another damage. And also, this also has like damage reduction. As you can see here, it's really a good addition to our Cyrus. Then we have here the Forceful Retaliation, which is another counter attack, and then with an additional 30 might every 6 seconds trigger for our Cyrus. Then the King of the World is one of its best trait or skills because this also has a good amount of damage, and this also has negative armor or ignores armor from your opponent or your enemy troops. Now the thing with this one is it also increases the hero's customizable skill damage by 30%. When dealing damage with customizable skills, there is 65% chance to deal might damage to the enemy troop, which is 160% of damage rate, and then this triggers 1 per second at most, and increases the hero's might by 50, another 50 for 3 seconds. This attack has a 65% chance to ignore 20% of the damage the enemy defense. Then when taking might damage, there is a 30% chance to reduce that damage by 8%. Now again, this overall description of the King of the World is for 5-star because as you can see, Cyrus here is a 5-star hero. Then again, we have the Isolated Green Vine, which is the commander skill of Cyrus. This one deals might damage to 3 enemy troops in the fan-shaped area for 370% and increases Cyrus the Great's counterattack trigger chance from customizable skill. Now, this is one of its good traits because I want to clear things out with the questions with the other players who are asking why Cyrus the Great's commander skill is so low in damage, 370%, wherein Richard's commander skill has more damage to offer on his commander skill. Now, the thing with Cyrus is he has more might progression than Richard. If you're going to check that out, I don't have it right now really, but if you're going to check that out, the might progression of Cyrus is a little bit higher, just a little bit higher than your Richard. But the thing with this one is, since it's going to boost also your counter attack trigger chance for your customizable skills, it will actually be good since it can dish out multiple counter attacks in a span of just a few seconds. Now that is really great, especially for swarm situations. The customizable skills of Cyrus though sometimes are forceful retaliation and sometimes are the fearless retribution. Now the difference with this one is forceful retaliation, as I've said earlier, will give you more increase in might, which gives off or dish out more damage for your Cyrus. And because of the boost of your signature skill here, you will have 30% skill damage again. It will be more. This will increase more because of the 30 might additional plus the 30% boost here, and then the counter attack. And I know that you guys are going to say that the fearless retribution has almost the same damage as your forceful retaliation. Yes, but the thing is, the 30 might is really important because you're not only boosting your forceful retaliation, you're also boosting the other skills of Richard, like his customizable skills, his signature skills, and his commander skill. Now that's really a great trade-off for that 30 might, sacrificing the percentage. How many percent is this? The 25% of recovery rate from his fearless retribution. Anyway, it's actually more useful that we have the forceful retaliation, especially that we have Mr. Frederick Barbarossa in this lineup that we are actually showing off right now. The value of Frederick kinda slipped down because of Boudica. But now, Frederick is alive and well because Cyrus can now carry off the damage of the lineup. Now, if you're going to ask who is better between Cyrus and Richard, I think Cyrus is the better choice because of his capability of his skills to dish out more damage than Richard. And we all know that Richard's secondary skill or signature skill will have an effect on his damage for his commander skills. And then the thing is, his when his signature skills activates and then your commander skill activated at a low point at 1% or 1 stack or 2 stacks, let's say, you are not going to dish out that much of a damage. There is also going to be a delay on the signature skill of Richard once you activate your commander skill because the commander skill are going to eat up all the marks of Lion, I think. And with that, I think that's the only flaw with Richard. But Richard overall is a great commander from Season 1 up to Season 3 until you get Cyrus in Season 4. Anyway, we also have here, as I've said, Frederick Barbarossa. So the only difference between him from 3 stars to 5 stars is that at 5 star, he will give or he will trigger his heal at 75%. Now, with his 3 stars, he will only trigger it at 60% or 65%, I think. Because here we can see it's 75% because it's 5 star, but it will be like 60 or 65, I think. It will trigger once every 2 minutes. Actually, the best thing about this skill is its value for recovery. The recovery rate of your Frederick here is 100%. This goes for 9 seconds. So 100% per second, it's going to be 900% or triple the amount of one tenacity heal. The only thing is this one triggers every 2 minutes. So you need to be out of battle before this reset. So that's the only flaw about this skill. You will still have troop damage you still have damage reduction. Now, because of this, Freddy and the gang is actually very tanky. So, in order for you to be more tanky is to actually use Metal and Peaceful Haven because Metal will trigger every 3 seconds, so that's a good heal overall. Metal is used in anti-swarm situations because in every attack there will be 2 normal attacks. In every second there will be 2 normal attacks. So if you are being swarmed, you can actually trigger this multiple times. And the thing about this is, let's say it's 170%, yes. But for those of you guys who are going to ask, oh, it's 170%, but tenacity is 300 something when it's maxed out, 325 when it's maxed out. Now, the thing is with tenacity, you need to wait 9 seconds. And Metal, actually, once you hit the 12 normal attacks from the enemy, you're going to actually heal. So multiple heals before tenacity even heal for the 325%. So since this is 170%, what will happen is that he will outmatch tenacity when it comes to swarm situation. If it's a one-on-one, tenacity will win. for sure. But if it's a swarm situation, you are in the battlefield, 2 or more enemies, you will benefit more with metal. And as I've always said also, this one will trigger every 9 seconds, but the Peaceful Haven then will trigger also after every 9 seconds. Now with metal, the Peaceful Haven will activate every 6 seconds, giving off 20% of damage reduction for your entire troop every 6 seconds instead of with the tenacity of every 9 seconds. So you have 3 seconds less to wait to trigger the Peaceful Haven. And one thing is for sure, if you have the Ring of Falcon or Ring of Lily, this will damage reduction of 20% when maxed out is going to trigger left and right. Like, it's going to be triggered definitely more, and you will be more tanky in the battlefield. And even if your recovery for Pledge of Glory already activated with the Ring of Lily or Ring of Falcon, you still have a backup heal. And that's one thing to reflect on if you're going to use the Boar, the Ring of Lily, or Ring of Falcon. Because in my opinion, if you're going to use now Mansa Musa, the rings that are good with Mansa Musa is Tranquil and, of course, Lofty Mountain. Because Lofty Mountain is actually a good ring for longer battles, because the first part of it, you will have defense, then the latter part of it, you will have bonus damage. But the only thing is, this ring is best for strategy heroes because of its escalation. And Mansa Musa in Season 3 can also be your commander if you don't have yet Cyrus, or if your Richard is low in stars or levels. So anyway, Mansa Musa can dish out really good damage because this one is 450%, as you can see. And when you are swarmed, this one will trigger after just 6 seconds, or if 12 normal attacks when you are swarmed. And also recovers your units for 90% for another 6 seconds. And reduces your troops damage taken by 18%. So as you can see, for 6 seconds. And this triggers and you are waiting for another heal or another, let's say, damage. You have this 6 seconds of damage reduction by 18%. So that is why Mansa Musa and Freddy is the real deal when it comes to tankiness. And then we have here the Golden Odyssey. Now after your troops takes 12 normal attacks, which is another 6 seconds. Because if you are swarmed, this is 6 seconds. If you are not swarmed, this is 10 to 12 seconds. Recovers your troop units, good recovery, 130%. So your recovery will scale with might bonus and armor, and increases the damage dealt by your commander by 20%. Now another thing of discussion here is it going to be metal or fearless retribution? As I've said, Cyrus himself hits like a freaking truck. That is why I don't really recommend to have other heroes other than Cyrus to have another damage skill. He already has a good amount of damage with his signature skills of 450%, and on the span of 6 seconds there is only like 20% of dishing this out. So in 5 tries he will just activate this one. So in 6 seconds there is a possibility to hit only 1 or 2 of this fearless retribution, wherein the metal will, or if this hits, we don't have that much of a heal, but rather we have 25% of heal with the fearless retribution. You can actually focus all your damage item on, or damage gems, damage equipment on your Cyrus, and then focus your defensive gems or equipments and builds on the 2 other support heroes. This is kind of like what we have with Ramesses and the gang. Has all types of heal on the customizable skill, therefore granting Ramesses more survivability and more chance to dish out more damage. And of course, going to ask if tenacity again. Well, it depends, but I don't really like tenacity on swarm situations wherein metal is actually way better because of what I have told you earlier. And then King's Blade is also another option. Honestly, like if you're going to use King's Blade instead of metal, that's another option for you guys. But I'm going for what is I believe in, and I believe in survivability is key to winning a fight right now in the current meta. So this is one of the 2 lineups that I want to show you guys today. And let's switch on to the next with Mama Boudica. So let's go now with Buddika. So Buddika is actually a great, also another great hero for Cyrus, with her extra counter attack skill with her signature skill. And the best is if your Boudica is already 5-star, you can give 45 additional might to Cyrus, but with the price of sustainability. I mean, you're going to give off a lot of heal from Freddy, but you're going to give Cyrus more damage or more chance to inflict damage because of the might, and then her signature skill, which gives off another counter attack. So this is what I called actually the double-edged blade with Cyrus, Boudica, and Mansa Musa lineup. Now to at least mimic or compensate for the lack of heals that Freddy should have provided for this lineup, what I do is I give off Boudica the tenacity because Boudica is not always or doesn't always have that much of a heal. Now the other thing here is if you want to go full blown attack, which is what I call the double edged sword, and let's just pray that there is no whale or much more stronger opponent on the battlefield to kill you together with the other heroes that you are fighting against. So Kingsblade is also good because you're going to have multiple damage, multiple heroes that will benefit from this. So Boudica will benefit from this, Cyrus will benefit, and Mansa Musa will benefit. So your overall damage will actually have a good uh, uh, gold damage production. Now the only thing with this one is that it has like 56%, 46% chance to activate, and it's only for 3 seconds. So I'm not saying it's bad, but Kingsblade is actually one of my choice before I did Tenacity. But Tenacity, on the other hand, is a bit of a gamble. So again, my build here is either Kingsblade and Forceful Retaliation, and Tenacity and Forceful Retaliation. The Kingsblade and Forceful Retaliation is the best damage here, but will be a double-edged sword. With Tenacity and Forceful Retaliation, it will give you like a little bit of time to survive in the battlefield, just a little bit. Now with the ring build for Buddika, so you can actually use the Ring of Badger on Buddika, plus the Ring of Tranquil on your Mansa Musa, then the Messenger of Destruction on Cyrus. That ring build will give you more sustainability in the battlefield, especially up against Lubu. Lubu is going to be no match for you even if you don't have Freddy, because the Ring of Badger will give you reduced damage for normal attacks, which is the critical of Lubu is normal attack. When Lubu attack you with a normal attack and it crits, it's still considered a normal attack. Now, when Lubu deals a critical damage on his skill, it's a secondary strike skill. So it will be reduced depending on the level of your Ring of Badger. And one more thing is that because Cyrus has a damage reduction, critical reduction damage from his signature skill, or I think it's not signature skill, but from his skill, there is a critical reduction damage. So Lubu is going to be no match for you for sure if you are on the same level. And with the addition of the Badger, that's going to be the case for sure, 100%. Now, in order for you to mimic the loss or to mimic or to compensate the loss of Freddy, what you can also do is Badger on Buddika and then give Mansa Musa your Ring of Falcon. You will also be tanky that way, or you can give Buddika the Ring of Tranquil or Ring of Clover and then Ring of Falcon on your Mansa Musa. Do not give this hero's Ring of Lily because you will only have heal without the armor. So Ring of Falcon is the second best choice if you're rocking this build out. So you have here the Tenacity on Buddika, then you have the Badger or the Tranquil, and then on your Mansa Musa, you have your skills for Metal and the Odyssey, and with the help of the Falcon Ring, as I've said, it will mimic the capability or the sustainability of Freddy by just a little bit. Let's say 60% or 70% of Freddy's entire function can be compensated by this lineup. Let's say just 40% or 30% of what Freddy can do for the sustainability. The with that build that I suggested for you guys will be compensation enough for Freddy's loss. Now, if you guys are going to go for the gems build, what I suggest for you to build first for your Cyrus is on his head, make sure you have attack gems in there. Then on his arms, you should have your might gems in there, because might gems on Cyrus is better than all attributes because of the might. And since Cyrus is going to be our main damage dealer, the might gems will give you a lot of value. So there we have it, guys. And the question are for you. What do you think about these builds that we have tackled in today? Do you think I have missed something on these builds, or if you have any suggestion or other recommended builds, you can actually leave your thoughts, your suggestions, your comments, or whatever your recommendations are in the comment section down below, and let's talk about it. Anyway, guys, I have enjoyed this format of my video for today. Hope you have a little bit of a good time and a lot of learning curves in this video. And if you learned something from this, smash that like button, share it with your friends so that they will also be helped by this video. And if you are new to the channel, this is your first time in the channel, and you like AoEM content, let us be one of your creator of choice and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring that bell so that you will always be updated soon as we are going on live or we have new news, update, or announcement for you. And with that, guys, thank you so much for having me as your fantastic Tito for the day. And have a great day to everyone. This is your fantastic TITOBODS, and I will see you in the next one.